Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus Dynamite. This is from October 27, 2021. Again, another show booked from Strength in a seemingly endless series of them as they're holding serve. Here's what's strange. People think AEW is making all of these kind of moves show by show and these hot-shotting. The opposite is true. They continue to sort of move along at their pace, telling their stories, culminating everything at the pay-per-views. In this case, the next one, Full Gear, which they did a good job of continuing to set up in spirit as well as matches for. And meanwhile, you know who is just swinging away wildly, getting very inconsistent with show quality and that kind of thing, unless you count Raw, which is just consistently not great. In any case, we move on to this Dynamite. We open with Bobby Fish, who we've given a couple of wins on AEW Dark against CM Punk. Another good match that lets CM Punk, people are like, well, you know, he feels like he's getting back into the swing of this wrestling thing. That's absolutely true. But he's reaching that level that some people are saying he's not going to be able to hit again. Again, a very good match with Bobby Fish and CM Punk wins. You get a promo and a video package with Malachi Black. Something I liked about this Dynamite a great deal, and I talked to a couple of people about this, is they did less. They didn't have 2 or 3 things being built in every segment. They just let it happen. They went back to the 6-match format. I liked it. Match number 2, MJF against Donovan. This was their palate cleanser. MJF won in quick fashion with that heat seeker pile driver, which looked amazing. Pinned him with a finger. He's a jerk. Cuts a promo. He and Sean Spears have a little fun at the crowd's expense by playing Sting's music and having his entrance, but then him not coming out. They're laughing. And then it does happen, and then there's Sting, and then there is Darby, who's been hiding in the crowd the whole time, which is a nice little spot. Darby sends him scattering after Sting beats up Sean Spears, and Wardlow with the bat, further continuing this thing of MJF not protecting Wardlow. And then basically Darby just says Full Gear towards MJF. Commercial. We come back. Britt Baker sets up her versus Abaddon on Rampage. We'll see how good Britt Baker has gotten, because Britt Baker lately has been wrestling people that she has to carry in the ring, like Anna Jay. She will definitely have to do that with Abaddon. We'll see how good Britt Baker can be, because we're seeing the not so quiet. We saw the AEW women's division improve by some that they acquired, but I'm noticing the performance quality has gone way up as well. Even from people who were good are now reaching the level of great, which is what you got to do if you want to elevate that division. But we'll get to that in a moment. We got Ethan Page against Sammy Guevara, which I was shocked to see put in this position, but I really liked that was put in this position, and here's why. Often the center, the middle part of Dynamite definitely lags and drops. In this case, it did not. The side slam from the top rope, dropping Sammy onto the top turnbuckle, was a phenomenal, fantastic young person kind of spot. I really loved it. At the end of the day, we have some teasing about the Ego's Edge, countering it with a Hurricane Rana, where I get that guys don't feel comfortable wrapping their legs around the head even a little bit when they're having to catch themselves coming down, which is why I just don't like Hurricane Ranas from the top rope generally. But at the end of the day, that jackknife pin looked really, really great on Ethan Page. Sammy Guevara retains, Scorpio Sky jumps him, then the Inner Circle show up, basically to set up a promo without having to have Dan Lambert and Top Team there, which was fine with me, to set up their Full Gear match. So we got Full Gear being set up all over the place. A great promo between Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson. Again, they're just operating from strength. The promos all feel much more prescient, like they matter much more. We got this, tournament going on. I thought it was interesting that the WWE just did the King of the Ring and Queen of the Crown tournament. The women's side of it didn't matter in the least. And the men's side of it mattered, but only as a feel-good for Xavier Woods winning, whereas the AEW tournaments feel much more interesting, much more important. I mean, you're getting Eddie Kingston against Bryan Danielson, and on the women's side, we start that off with Hikaru Shida against Serena Deeb, who already had a fantastic match, and have an even better one this time. Hikaru Shida wins, reversing that roll-up in the cool move that definitely got the crowd to go nuts in Boston, and then Serena Deeb just drubbing away at that leg, setting up a possible third match between the two at some point. But Hikaru Shida, the never say die babyface, who definitely won over the crowd and has been nothing but selfless ever since she dropped that title to Britt Baker, of staying out of the limelight, even dropping the match the first time to Serena Deeb. I really like it. And Hikaru Shida, I put this on Twitter, I think is most improved wrestler, and I wanted to note that. Commercial, we come back. Moxley against 10. Moxley brutalizing 10 is a great story. Biting him, making him bleed through the mask, ripping it up. Beats his ass bloody. And this thing of Moxley just being a juggernaut and a killing machine in this tournament is amazing. And again, in the course of 3 matches, right? One that they set up between Eddie Kingston and Bryan Danielson, one that they had for the women's tournament, Hikaru Shida and Serena Deeb, and one that they had between Moxley and number 10. We already have 2 better tournaments. Say what you want, but those things matter in the long term. And our main event, the Dark Order against the Elite. One of the funniest, I mean, I saw it coming as soon as the horse head guy came out. I'm like, oh, that's Brandon Cutler. And then the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man is Adam Page, which I suspected somewhat. But the Ghostbusters entrance, the Dark Order in costumes, again, they had more joy in this main event, especially with the finish, than the guys had overall. I talked about this main event first because I wanted to go back to this segment that happened between match number 5 and the main event, because I think it really categorizes how effective Dynamite is in long-term storytelling. Though that main event was really great, and letting the Dark Order get a win, having Adam Page help, and then Adam Page, who's no longer afraid to stand up to the Elite and Kenny Omega. A great story. They're hitting their stride. They're going into full gear very well. And this wasn't even close to a go-home show yet. But I want to talk about this segment. First, we had the FTR promo, which is really great, where they accept the challenge from the AEW champions, the Lucha Brothers, which is a match we can all look forward to. The Cody Rhodes promo, where he's apologizing and the crowd's determined to shit on him. But Andrade comes out and cuts the best promo of his AEW tenure, where he's making fun of Cody and just being the biggest jerk he can be. Then the lights go out and Malachi Black comes out. So their partnership is official, which I really love. And Andrade and Malachi beat him down. But then Pac comes out and gives some of his cool to Cody Rhodes. Nobody's going to boo Pac. And the thought of Cody Rhodes and Pac against Andrade and Malachi Black is really fascinating in various combinations or as a tag team. And again, it's such effective storytelling. It doesn't feel thrown away. It doesn't feel patched together. It feels like a thing that has organically come about as a result of booking. It's a secondary level of complexity in the booking, and it's something that Tony Khan is beginning to explore more and more and more. Strangely, he has the incredibly long-term storytelling slow burn stuff down. And he has the stuff that just builds to a quick feud where maybe you get a match or 2 out of it. But this secondary level of booking is something I'm going to talk about more at length on my other videos. But now that AEW is beginning to do that, that's when you really find out how good your promotion is.